Unscripted, unshackled, uncouth.
What you're about to hear is for more mature audiences only.
It's Miguel and Holly, Uncensored.
Welcome to Miguel and Holly Uncensored. It is our off-air podcast that we do 3 times a week on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. You can see it live on the Miguel and Holly YouTube and Facebook page, or if you listen on the iHeartRadio app or anywhere you listen to the podcast, just type in Miguel and Holly Uncensored. Please leave us a 5-star rating. We would greatly appreciate it.
Yes.
So we said last week, by the way, I got a lot of messages from people that really enjoyed Friday's podcast about mental health and said that it was super, super impactful.
Good. I'm so glad.
Yeah. So if you didn't get a chance to listen to it, I would definitely it's obviously very serious, but I think and hope that it helped people, at least from the messages that I got over the weekend. So
I think it's important to have episodes like that sometimes because we have to address all things, you know?
Right.
So,
And people are going through so many things right now, mental health reasons. And so I think just being able to point out that there are resources and that it's okay to not be okay, but being able to ask for help is so important. So if you didn't get a chance to listen, definitely go back and listen to Friday's podcast. Well, we do have another guest today, and she is someone that if you are an OG listener, you've heard her before on our show and on the podcast. After she left our show, she was our first producer when we were in Tampa. Please welcome Miss Nikki to the podcast.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Good. And now, Nikki's backstory. You are originally from Tampa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Tampa area.
Yeah, Tampa.
But after you left our show, you went and worked for one of our sister stations in Tampa, and then you got this big job in Chicago. Radio, one of the top radio markets. And then what happened there?
I moved to Chicago, uprooted my life, had no money, knew nobody here. 8 months later, they eliminated my position. And I decided I love Chicago more than waking up at 3 a.m. and producing radio.
And now here you are. So you also started... Was it right before the pandemic you started your podcast?
It was during so in Chicago, it would be considered still during the pandemic. I think in Florida, maybe you guys would have thought it's over by then.
Yes.
But it was in October of 2020.
It was over.
Yeah, but not in the rest of the country.
Right. Yeah, I think that summer, I remember we went to our first restaurant. And I was like, this just feels very weird eating out somewhere. Yeah. And because remember, it was half capacity that you could be there.
All these rules
6
and stuff.
feet. Yeah.
Well, I also worked for a restaurant group and I worked the entire pandemic, shut down and then reopening, keeping so I was there for all of it. And it was very that summer was interesting. Going on pandemic dates where you had to go on walks for a date. And it was, yeah.
Pandemic God, that's so it's we have totally just forgotten about that time and how crazy I remember seeing stories about I think it was a guy where he would stand outside the girl's window and they would have dates where they were socially distant, where they could talk and just get to know each other instead of going out and stuff like that. How wild was that? It was just a few years ago. It wasn't even that long ago that we were our whole world was just upended like that.
Yeah, Zoom dates. I went on so many of those. I dated guys through Zoom for a long time until we decided it was safe to see each other. Yeah. The one thing is Zoom dates have stayed, or FaceTime dates for a first date. People still are okay with doing that, which is kind of great when you meet online and doing a quick little check-in first. That's kind of nice.
Yeah, I agree. I think that takes a lot of the pressure off, but also it's a way to avoid wasting time with a whole ass date.
Right.
If you can tell that, this is not what I thought it was.
Yeah.
Now, with this podcast you start, it's called Swipe Fat.
Yes.
Now, describe the premise of it. And because I know we chatted with you around the time you started it and just see progression. It's just been so cool to watch it.
It's cool to see. Oh man.
Yeah. So I met a local sorry, my dog in the background. I met a content creator and influencer, a plus size woman, Sassy Confetti, Alex, and we went on, like, we met through mutual friends, and we were told that we would get along. And so we finally went on like a coffee date, or we went to brunch. And we were sitting there, and we were just talking or talking about dating, and we had so many shared experiences. And if you're a plus size person dating, sometimes you think that the shitty things only happen to you. And she really validated a lot of the stuff I was going through. And she told me she wanted to start a podcast. And I was like, oh, well, what do you want it to be about? She's like, I don't know. I was like, well, maybe you shouldn't. And like 6-7 months later, I was thinking about it. There were no podcast about plus size dating, specifically just plus size dating. And I texted her. We'd only met that once because of course the pandemic hit, but we'd texted and stuff. And that's where Swipe Fat came to be. And so it's just all about chronicling our dating journeys as plus size women. And then we started doing meetups in Chicago. And now we do Fat Babe vacations all over the country.
Wow.
That's the part that I want to know. How did it go from like, hey, let's just hang out, to like, we're going international?
Well, you know me. I come up with a lot of ideas.
You're an idea person.
Yeah. And so a lot of content influencers, I call them content creators because it makes me feel better about myself. But influencers do trips. And I was like, well, how are they doing these trips? And then it's through this company called Trova Trip. And so it was like, I texted her one night. I was like, what if we did one? And she's like, that would be wild. Well, we went to Greece last October. We went to Italy with 24 women in July. And next month, I am going to Spain with women.
Wow.
Yes.
So what is that like when you've built this community of women that are experiencing the same things? What is it like on these trips?
Actually, what's kind of great is a lot of the time we don't even talk about being plus size. It's just like somebody said, like, basically we were at a beach in Greece. We were all in a bathing suit, and they were like, wow, I haven't adjusted my bathing suit once. I haven't thought about people looking at me. This is like just transformative because I can be relaxed, and I don't have to worry about people I'm traveling with judging me. Even like your friends, like you're self-conscious. You're like, we always say, like, when we if we're going on a hike or something, like we hiked Mount Vesuvius, and we're going at our own pace. Like, we can huff and puff on our way up, and nobody's there to judge us. Like, we can hit our checkpoints and then keep going. And so it's, but when you're with your straight size friends, you're like, well, are they thinking about me? I mean, most of my straight size friends are also huffing and puffing because we're like not the most athletic, but like it's in your head. You think about it. You're like, well, because I'm fat, that's why I can't do this.
And what are some of the things that you've gotten back from some of the members that have gone on these trips? Like, what has it meant to them?
I mean, some of the girls who went on Greece went to Italy with us, and some are going to Spain. Like, we've created long-term friendships. They've made friends. It's just like giving them a space to be who they are. I know one girl, like, never even talked about being plus size, and like, she even said, like, the first time when we were in Greece, she wanted to be the first one at the front to prove she wasn't the like fattest. Like, and she's like, that sounds so awful, but like, that's internalized fat phobia. We all have it. And so, like, it really transformed how she thought about herself and her body, and like, yeah.
Really helping people. I mean, not only find community with like, people that have all had like shared life experiences, but also healing. Like that, you're talking about how that girl is like, oh, wait a second. Like, I feel good about this community, but like, I'm also learning about it as we go along.
Yeah, creating safe spaces.
I learn about myself every single day with it. So,
well, can we talk about that a little bit, about the internalized fat phobia, and how, you may not even realize that you deal with that? Like, how do you come to that realization that that's something that, those are the thoughts that are running around in your head?
Well, everybody has internalized fat phobia. You guys all have it. Everybody has it, because that's what society teaches us, is that it's wrong to be fat.
It's the air that we're breathing, kind of like the patriarchy, right? Like, we don't even know that this is what we've been trained. It's like, it's silent, but everybody has it.
Yeah, everybody has it. We, have judgments on others, but for a long time, I could think other people plus size women were beautiful, but I couldn't think I was beautiful,
Mm.
And it's like, well, why can I think of that about other people, but I can't think it about myself? That's internalized fat phobia. Or, you know, you automatically people think that, fat plus size people are lazy and not put together, like they're just a bunch of slobs. But if you met me, I'm running 24/7 and I'm always put together, and you wish you had the energy that I had to do what I do in my life. So it's little stereotypes, that you have to check yourself. Be like, oh, I can't wear that crop top. No, you can. Nobody
Right.
cares what you're wearing.
So is it one of those things where I feel like I remember when I wanted to change how my mind frame around things, like when I went through this, and I always say that this was one of the most transformative times of my life, when I graduated from college and I was working in Savannah, and I just hated life because it was just not, because when you graduate from college and you go into school or to your real career, and no one ever tells you that it's going to be really crappy, and you're just like, I'm finally done with school, and then you're like, oh crap, this is not what I thought it was going to
Oh,
be.
welcome to the rest of your life.
Right. And it's like, welcome to the real world. And so I remember someone gave me the book, oh my gosh, what is it called? The Secret, where the manifesting. And so I remember going through this whole transformative time where whenever I had a negative thought, I would try to counter it with a positive thought. And I remember after the first week, I was physically tired because the mental energy it took to do that, it's a lot, but I trained myself to start to think more positively about stuff. So is that sort of how you approach, sort of bashing away those thoughts of I can't wear that outfit? Is it something that happens over time?
Yeah, 100%. I have to remind myself that my body's the least important thing about me. I'm so much more than my body. And it's, everybody, one thing I get on, you're so confident because they didn't see my journey, obviously. And I am so much more confident than I ever used to be. Most plus size influencers or just everyday people online, they come off as super confident, but people don't see that it's an ebb and flow. We have bad days, we have good days. And it's just to remind, on the bad days, to remind yourself, there are good days. And so it's really good to walk around your house naked and neutralize yourself to your body. Take pictures on good days, take pictures on bad days. It's just really normalizing yourself. And you should have your Instagram feed, your social media feed, put people on there that look like you. That is the best thing you could ever do for yourself. Anybody that makes you feel bad on social media, delete them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nikki, I've heard you say the word fat a lot. And
Yeah.
so is this a thing where you kind of have taken the power, or I guess the negative connotation of that word away, and you're embracing her? What is your relationship with that word? Because a lot of people obviously feel a type of way about that.
Yeah, it's just a descriptor. It's like me having brown hair or green eyes.
Right.
I happen to be fat. If you we've taken the word back, to neutralize it, because everybody thinks it's a bad thing to be fat. The worst thing in the world to be is fat. And if you had my life, you'd love it. It's not the worst thing.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
Wow. That is really incredible. I've never thought about it that way. So obviously with it being social media, and you have a robust social media presence on TikTok and on Instagram, I'm assuming there has to be haters. There has to be people that slide up and just say the most foul things. Have you experienced that, and how have you dealt with that?
Yeah, I'm actually so in October last year, I went insanely viral on TikTok. I've learned that when I just post myself doing normal things, people really hate that. But if I post my fat girl outfit of the days, or if there's something where I'm saying I'm plus size, I can get around people. But if I'm just a normal human living, the trash of the earth finds
They
it.
have a thought that you should not be.
Yes. So back in end of September, early October, I was supposed to go on a date. I met him online. We had the date plans, and I was at work, and I look, and 2 hours before, he unmatched me. I was wearing a cute dress. I post my outfits online. That's what I do. And so I just was like, hey, was supposed to go on a date. he ended up unmatching me, but I still wanted to show you my outfit. And I did it. And I was like, at the end, I said like his loss or something. That has over 30 million views. And I have been stitched, duetted. I'm in news articles. I'm on Reddit hate groups, Facebook hate groups, because and
Reddit
now
hate groups.
oh yeah. When you Google my name now, the third thing that comes up is Nicki Nunez catfish, because men assume I was a catfish. They made this whole narrative that he showed up to the bar. Like they didn't even listen to a word I said in the video, that he unmatched me a few hours before, and
Right.
they created this whole narrative. So yeah, I get a lot of hate, probably 20 hate comments a day.
Yeah.
But then on the flip side, I also get so many DMs over sexualizing myself. So it's like,
Yeah,
it's a
gotta
real
be a
weird
weird
dichotomy.
And then you've also got, I'm sure, comments that are like really positive from the women that you're actually helping. So
Yeah.
like, how do you even wade into the comment section and like get the wheat from the chaff? Like, I don't.
If when I go viral, if I go over 200,000 views, I don't look at comments anymore.
Yeah, that's
smart.
Because how can you? It's like the absolute worst of society.
Yeah.
Right.
I unfortunately, like, in July I made a stupid little video about putting your phone number on bracelets and handing them out at concerts. That went insanely viral.
I saw that.
Yeah.
That was really cute.
I was just a single woman doing things fun. So many straight size women have done it on the internet, and mine went viral and lots of hate. And so I turn off comments eventually, and then they go on other videos to comment. So it's just I haven't dated in over a year because I'm like scared of men on the street. And just scared of people. Actually, if anybody stares at me, I assume they know who I am and they hate me, just because I have had people in public come up to me and hate me, men.
What are they hating you in person for? Like, I'm confused about, like,
because I am fat and they find me pretty until they see the rest of my body. That's why they think I'm a catfish. They're like, you had me at first because they saw my face and then they see the rest of my body. So they think I'm attractive and then they see I'm fat and they're disgusted and they're mad at themselves because they thought I was attractive.
So they're coming up to you in person and being like, I'm so mad that you're fat.
No, one person. No, he knew my viral video of a catfish and then he was showing it to all his friends and like that.
Was it at a bar or like on the street?
It was a bar. Yeah. And I was drunk. So that was like not fun. Yeah. So it's an interesting, and like, people online hate me because they think I'm promoting obesity and I'm unhealthy, and they have no idea what my doctor says. They have no idea about like my health.
Does.
But also you're not concerned about my health. What if, like, how am I affecting you? You just don't like me because I'm fat. My health does not affect you. Oh, you're worried about me sitting next to you on the plane? I fly first class. Don't worry about it. Like,
that's right, bitch. Tell them.
Like,
they can
calm down.
Yeah, it really is circling back to what you said in the beginning, which is like that inner fat phobia. It's like people often have these thoughts in their mind when they see you, and it's like a reflection of themselves that they're angry at. And it's like, Nikki's not doing anything to you personally.
No. And I'm just trying to live life.
I'm just showing other plus size and fat women that they can have a great life too. They don't have to wait to lose weight to start living, because that's what so many people think. You have to be you have to fit into this certain shirt. You have to be this number on the scale. You don't. Just start living. If you want to lose weight, great. I believe in body autonomy, but don't make other people feel bad about it because you lose weight. That's a whole thing right now. A lot of plus size creators are getting on semaglutides and Ozempic and things like that. And they're being like, I was wrong to be plus size. I don't want to be a part of the plus size community. You guys are wrong. I've lost weight. So now like I know what's going on. And no, if you want to lose weight, great. Yeah. Just don't make people feel bad about it.
That's so weird.
That is wild to me, that all of a sudden the people that built them this community and these followers, and then you turn on them like that?
Internalized fat phobia.
Yeah. Wow. Apparently like we said, it is in the air you breathe. It's how you were raised. If you were raised in America, this is how you were raised. Period.
Right.
I mean, not even America. I mean, Europe's one of the most fat phobic You know, I was getting
Expectation.
men were asking for pictures of me on the street, like, because they wanted to take pictures of fat women. And when you say no, they get mad and they still film you, like
Where was this?
in Naples.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. So what would you say to a person that's listening to this and they're like, okay, I've been trying to, lose weight for a long time or feel more comfortable in my skin.
Mm.
What would you say, or what would your message be to them to start on this journey? Because you've come to peace. I mean, because, we've known we've known each other for a long time. And I feel like we both have been through this. It's taken me a long time to be comfortable with my body. And some
And you're
days,
still not 100% comfortable.
right. Never. Like there are some days where I'm like, okay, bitch, you looking good. And then there are some days where I'm like, look at your man titties. Jesus Christ, how did you let yourself go? And then I have to say, how is that helpful at all to you right now? How is this doing anything? So what advice would you give to someone that's listening to this? And they're like, wow, I've been having these really bad thoughts about myself for a long time.
I think first, think about why you want to lose weight. Like, yes, society tells us we need to, and that's a good enough reason. If you want to make your life a little bit easier by losing weight, I don't blame you. But it's like, what is losing weight going to change everything for you? Probably not. So let's think about other things. Are you unhappy with your financial situation, your work situation, your dating situation, your friend situation? There's other things that like you can tangibly fix first, and like to help build inner confidence first. And I would think about that and just give yourself grace and, make little steps. It's a little step process. Like losing weight isn't going to fix your world. Like it doesn't fix everything. Go on TikTok. You can see people who have lost 160 pounds and they'll tell you it doesn't fix everything. They still feel like the fat person they were.
Right.
Yeah, it's a whole mental adjustment, because yes, you can physically lose the weight, but like unless I'm assuming you go through to a therapist or whatever, those feelings of not good enough, maybe if you thought they were due to being fat, if those feelings are not addressed up here in your head, they're still going to be there. You may hyperfixate on now something else because you didn't go to the root of what was actually really wrong.
I think to me, that is always something I've had to remind myself, because I feel like I've said so many times in my life, like, oh my gosh, if I just lost another 15 pounds, another 20 pounds, then, I would get more likes on Instagram, or this would happen, or this would happen. And it's like,
ooh, the likes on Instagram, by the way.
But just up your content game and you'll get likes. I'm fat and I get way more likes than you guys. Just up the content game.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, and that's why something I have to like tell myself all the time, where especially in the gay world, when you see, guys posting shirtless photos and, they get a billion likes and you're like, oh, well, I thought that my picture of
you just like raised $50,000 for like a hospital,
right?
Like 200, like 100 likes.
Yeah.
But then it's like, why does that matter?
Yes.
I should send you a couple. I follow a couple of plus size, mid size gay men who do fashion. And I love them.
Send.
Yes, please do.
Send.
And in the comments, we're seeing so many people that are just so loving the message that you're putting out here. Like Zinda said, I need to listen to this podcast. Plus sides dated here. Amber says, super appreciative of this convo. I spent a lot of time in the fat liberation world, and it is nice to see this convo on a regular platform. And then I'm not sure how to Solamary. I love your confidence.
That was good.
So Nikki, how can people find your podcast and your social media to follow along your journey?
Yeah, so anywhere you find listen to podcasts besides our iHeart, so Apple, Spotify, all those things, search Swipe Fat podcast. We're on there. We're on that on TikTok and Instagram. We also have a private Facebook group. So if you search Swipe Fat Dating or Swipe Fat Podcast, it's all about plus size dating, and it's a community that is private, and it's just women talking, like a lot of plus size women don't have any plus size friends. So it's a way for them to make a community. And then you can follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Nikki Nunez. Nicci. I spell it weird.
Yes.
Yeah.
And real quick before we let you go, because we are going to be talking about the now late Hot 1015, which you are a part of that journey.
Yeah.
you produced the first morning show that was on there before we started. Jade Donovan.
Yeah, Hot Mornings with Jade. I saw Holly's post and I was in a meeting, but I saw she tagged me. I was like, oh no, what's happening? I literally thought you guys got fired. Everybody thought you guys got fired.
Apparently so. Like,
Holly, you were like somber and listening, and your face hand was over your mouth, and you looked like the world was ending. And all I saw real quick, and I was like, if you didn't listen, you had no context.
Well, also I said Hot 1015 in the post, but nobody likes to read things. It's
No. That's why my questions are very short.
Yeah.
So
nobody
what?
wants to read nothing. I was like, this is why I don't post. I'm gonna go back to not posting. You get nothing from me ever again. I was so over that fucking post. I almost took it down. I'll be honest with you, I almost took it down. So I might still. So it's not
everybody.
I know.
Oh, no.
I was like, fuck. Fine.
So how are you feeling with, because you were part of that story of Hot 1015, or are you like, girl, bye, that's been out of my radar for a long time?
Yeah, girl, bye. I like I was like, should I have had feelings? And then it like makes me feel like
you would, because I feel like that was not a core tenet of like your radio career, even really. Like you had other better memories in other places.
Yeah, it feels like radio is so far gone. I mean, it's been 5, almost 6 years, and my life's so different. And sometimes, like, I don't know, you guys growing, like, I'm 33. Sometimes I don't think I'm 33. And it feels like I've had so many lives. I know you guys can probably like get that. Like, I forget I graduated, or I was a freshman in college 15 years ago. That's insane to me. Like, so it's, I'm not sentimental as a person, and I should, like, I'm sentimental about certain things, but yeah, no, it's great. I was more getting angry at people who are like bashing them for flipping and being like, oh, you're gonna let FLZ take it. Well, there's no R&B station. It makes sense. Like, logically, it makes sense to flip. Like, that's where I'm at. So
Oh, 100%.
I don't, but I mean, I had great times when Tim Clark was posting. I like messaged him. I was like, Tata Hot 1015. Like, I remember when it flipped. I was in the building.
Such great memories there.
Yeah, but yeah, I had my time in top 40. It was a fun time. And then I wasn't ready for top 4. I wasn't ready for your guys' show, like, emotionally, when I worked on your show.
Know.
Yeah.
No, we knew.
No, I just needed to go bash people. I needed to be a little. As Seth called me, I was a mini shock jock, and that was fun. That's
like, literally, I think we've said this before, but like Miguel and I shared what our vision of the show would be with Nikki.
Oh, I cried.
Like,
I can't do that.
I don't understand what you're trying to do. Right? And we were like, okay, well, we can work with this.
I was like, let me just write some bits. I can do that. I can name all the. I was like, I don't get your segment, all the feels, but I can name it all the feels.
Right.
I remember that Nikki was like, "What? Who are these people trying to be all positive on the radio? What is this?"
Hear that? I want to hear some arguing. I want to talk to some porn stars. Hit me with a fetish Friday.
Yeah, that was definitely not our show.
No. I mean, it wasn't Jade either, but
no. Well, Nikki, thank you so much for taking the time to come on with us, and congratulations on
so much
all the success, and not even just being successful. That's cool, but like building a community and giving people a voice that have not had a voice for a long time, and giving them a place to feel comfortable.
Yeah, I will say Black fat women have been leading this liberation for a very long time. We just happen to take step in and have a little piece of it, but other women have been doing it for far longer than I have. So,
well, you can find Nikki Swipe Fat on all podcasting platforms or on the iHeartRadio app. Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Oh, that's so cool.
I know.
It's just really cool to see people that just really like find their true calling and
their niche.
Yes. And just do it in such an amazing way, and just helping so many people. I just absolutely love that.
I know.
Think she'll branch out, thick boys?
Maybe you could start it.
Maybe you could get a tandem going.
Maybe.
Yeah.
As you said, as you rub your chest.
A little bit of titty action too.
So how was your weekend, Holly?
Pretty good. What did I do? What on earth did I even do? So Friday I went to like happy hour / dinner with a newish friend. Like her daughter and my daughter are friends, and so we were like, yeah, we should be friends. And so I trust her. I like we shared our stories with each other and all this. We're both from up north and we ended up here. So we have a lot in common. But so we went to this relatively new restaurant in St. Pete. And we were having a fine time sitting in the bar area, and these two other ladies came and sat down next to us who were a little older. And then they kind of like interloped in our conversation. So it ended up just being like it was a lot for my social battery.
Chaotic.
Actually, is what it was. Because on a Friday, and I had worked that day. So it was just definitely very interesting. That doesn't usually happen to me. So by the time and her husband had to come and pick us up and take us home.
Oh, so y'all were you drinking Trulies?
No, I wish. Oh my God, I was so embarrassed. I was like, hey, do you guys have any hard seltzer? And the waitress or the woman that came over from the bar was like, ooh, no, they didn't sell well. And I'm like, oh, they didn't? I really like Truly. She's like, yeah, we had a case of Truly when we opened, and then we didn't sell one in 5 months. And I was like, oh. I was like,
do you still have it?
You dig it out.
Can y'all go back there and then walk in refrigerator and grab my sister one?
God, I was like, so then me, I was like, oh, it's fine. I'll think of something. I'll have. Well, if you remember, I didn't want to do wine because of what happened last time I went out with this lady, and then I got back home and collapsed. So I was like, what can I drink that might not be too bad? So I did this gin drink. I think gin might be okay for me. I think that's my new thing. So I did like it was like some lavender lemon gin thing. Beautiful cocktail. But then I had 3 of them because after these other ladies got into the conversation and we had some different viewpoints that they didn't know but I had 3 of them, and then I was like, probably shouldn't have had that third one. But that was fine. That was fine. So we, Friday night was kind of just like, it was an early night, I think, for me. Saturday, I did we have all this ceiling damage and roof damage and whatnot from the hurricane. And so I know that there's going to be eventually some construction crews that come into my house. They have to pull out my ceiling in the bedroom and upstairs closet and ceiling. And so I was like, I got to start going through some of my mother's things upstairs, which I haven't done at all. And so I just did the closet to clear it out because people are going to have to get in there and take the wall out. So I went in there, I did that, and I found her purse, which is weird because her purse was just like, clearly you can tell I have not touched anything upstairs not just since she passed, but since she moved out, which was a year ago. I actually just saw the post on my Facebook from like a few days ago. I made the post that I had moved her into a memory care unit. And upstairs has been untouched since that time. So it's actually been a year. And her purse was like next to the nightstand, like she left it. Like, we obviously didn't take her purse with her to the memory care unit. You know what I mean? Like, so right. I was like, oh, here's a purse. So, I mean, I went through it and it was weird because clearly she had really been losing her mind anyway. And there was an interesting mix of things in the purse. Like there was a baggie full of masks, like COVID masks, because she used to have to wear them to doctor's appointments. There was a lot of chapsticks. There was an entire thing of like a rosary with like how to pray the rosary and all this, and like a bunch of different like religious artifacts that were tucked in different pockets. And I was like, okay, all right. So that, and then I don't know, just a random bunch of a bunch of stuff. But also I found in a plastic Ziploc baggie in a corner was a bottle of perfume, like half full, and another little like a sample of perfume. And I'm like, what? So I pulled that out and I smelled it, and my fiance was in there, and I think he thought maybe this might be like a bad moment. And so he's like, are you okay to be smelling this right now? And I'm like, no, I just want to know what it smells like. I don't even know. It's actually like Coco Chanel, like some Coco Chanel something. So I smelled it and I'm like, this smells like my mom, but 80s, 90s my mom.
Oh.
And he was like, okay. So he smells it. He's like, that does smell like the 90s. I'm like, it does. It does. And I was not like sad. I didn't cry, but I was like, smelled it a lot. And I'm like, it reminds me of knowing that my mom was like, had somewhere fancy to be. Like, so she had a fancy outfit on. Maybe she was going out to dinner. Maybe she had something for work. And that's what she smelled like. And I don't remember smelling it ever since. Like, I don't even know where she had it. She must have had this for like 40 years, this perfume.
Jeez.
Maybe that would, and I always wondered, like, did she have a signature scent? Because, you know, some people's moms smell like this and this and this, but I never knew. And I was like, no, I think it's this. So I'm saving that, obviously. I'm going to keep it. So I thought there was going to be, and it's just hard. You have to go through every single thing. And I'm like, is this clothing for giveaway, for throwaway? Does the church want some of these angel statues? Because I feel bad throwing them away. There's just, and that was just the closet. So that's what I did partly on Saturday, but I was also hungover on Saturday. So
that might, enhance a few things.
Yeah. I was just looking up because my mom, I've smelled this before on women, like at the grocery store or something. My mom, I think it's called Egyptian musk that she's worn for years. And so whenever I smell it, and there was like one time where it like, because smell is so powerful.
Yes.
And I think it was either here in Tampa where I was at Publix and a woman walked past me and I was like, Mom? Is that?
Yeah, that's weird.
Whoa. Like, that's just because that's not a scent that you smell a lot from a lot of different people. But yeah, so I know how powerful that can be. And it's like instantly brought up my mom. And I was like, oh, wow, this is weird.
And that's why I thought it was so weird, too, because I'm like, this isn't like the last 10 years of my mom or even 20. I'm like, I'm a kid. And this is my mom when she was still my mom in a lot of different aspects.
Right.
Mentally, physically, I was the kid. And she was going somewhere fancy. So anyway, yeah, it's very interesting how that works with scent.
Unlocks memories.
It really does. And so that was like Saturday. We've been talking for a few weeks about like going out to like somewhere to see like live music play or something. And we were thinking maybe because we didn't have the girls this weekend and we were like, maybe Saturday. Well, then I was hungover. Then I had to dig out my mom's closet and I was like, I kind of just want to sit and sit.
You're like, I'm done.
That's fine.
I'm done.
So we failed at going out again, which is, I mean, we'll get out at some point. So yeah, but we had like Thai food for dinner, brought it in. And then like Sunday we watched, and this is what's weird, right? So like, I didn't do any social media at all on Sunday. And I know there's lots of ways to work around this, but I feel like I'm talking for a really long time. So I'll try to wrap this up. On one bent, I'm a little bit tired of social media because I've been getting like I wandered into somebody else's post and now I'm getting all these stupid fucking comments. So I'm a little tired of Instagram right this second. But on Sunday, we went to his parents' house and watched the Bucks game. And it was a really good game, and the Bucks won. And I was like, oh, that's a great time. And then I looked over. I kept track the whole time. What are the Panthers doing? Not such a great game for the Panthers.
Oh, it was a little awkward.
It was a little rough. So it's not like I'm about to be like, watching football. Sorry about my now team, but I still live in the Tampa Bay area. Say it. It's a little awkward on Sunday, but that was my weekend. And just quickly, so the Instagram thing. I'm so over this. There was just a funny video, but apparently this is very controversial. It was another mom, probably around my age. I think this woman may have done radio or is in radio. I got to check. Anyway, she's like a comedian though too. And she did just a video, a one-off of something that I've complained about before. Like when you go to pick your kid up from school and you're like, oh, I have to get there early today for whatever reason. And you leave. She's like, I left 37 minutes early. And the line is already so long. And it's just like a common, like, it's not that serious. Okay. It's just a daily gripe.
Yeah,
like,
it's an annoyance.
Whatever. It's like a little annoyance. You're like, and she had a funny joke because she's like, do these parents like drop their kids off to school and then circle back around and just wait? And I was like, yes, they get it. Someone gets it because it's a very specific frustration. There's always about 10 cars that just seemingly get there at 7 a.m. to pick their kid up from school. I don't know. It's just a funny thing. I was like laughing. I'm like, this is so funny. I look in her comment section And people are absolutely ripping this woman a new one.
Oh
I
my gosh.
mean, with a gusto. They're like, you're the problem. Why aren't you making your kid walk to school? You're lazy. You're spoiled. All your kids suck. And you're the worst parent in the world. Put them on a bus. I
Oh.
mean, I was like, oh my God. Oh God.
Jesus.
So obviously I sympathize with OP,
Right.
Original poster, if you will. So I was like, this poor lady. And by the way, there's like hundreds of thousands of comments. So I'm like, let me just, maybe she'll find my comment.
Right.
And so I commented in like appreciation for her. I was like, I can't believe all these comments that you're getting. People that are calling like, I was like, my kid's school doesn't offer busing and we live 5 miles away. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to have my 10-year-old walk home from school in the Florida heat and rain. Like,
Right. And in this world?
Right. No.
There's just so many reasons. And I'm like, I just can't believe the audacity of these people that are just coming at you without even understanding the full topic, just throwing their shit around. And I was just really angry at the people that were angry first. So I guess my anger was in response to the angry people that were coming for her. And this post was not that serious. So my anger was directed at them. A couple people started liking it. I'm like, oh, that'll be fine. Then she must have seen it and she liked it, the post creator, and she commented underneath it. And she was like, I know, right? I really can't believe this. And I was like, I know, I'm here for you. The fact that the poster, saw it. Y'all, this was days ago.
Oh, no.
And I am flooded with these same fucking idiots.
Oh, no.
Calling me an idiot. Now it's crossed over into the line of like, it's my white privileged, like, whatever, something, like my white privileged ass, who, by the way, the person that said that was white. Like they're calling me like I can't, I'm not built for this. Okay.
Did they call you the K word?
No, they didn't yet.
Oh.
They probably will at some point. I think that it's being alluded to, whatever. And so at first I was like, this one woman, oh God, I wish I could pull up some of the comments, were so just mean. And one woman, she was so mean. I was like, I'm sorry, you're proving my point. You're out here being a mean lady to someone on the internet, and you don't even get the point of the video. And she's like, blah, 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 snowflake. And I was like, I'm sorry, Pam. Is it Pam? You are the snowflake, okay? You're the one that's being mean for no reason. Like, you don't understand what this means. Like,
I just wish that you could like just print out some of like the people that leave comments like that and just like post them on their like apartment door, and just to be like, I just want you to look at how stupid you look online, that you were getting. Like, there is nothing that I've ever like been like, ooh, let me go attack someone online because of some video. I'm like, hey, you know what? If I don't like it, then I just don't look at it. I just look at the other millions of content pieces that are on Instagram or whatever social media platform.
Like,
right.
You know, that's not resonating with me. Like, instead of calling people dumbasses, I do have one comment. Some of the people, by the way, in the comments. Oh, wait, Kelvin, did you have something?
Oh, I was just going to say, like, I always try to think of the relationship I have with the person before I engage. And if I have no relationship, then I don't. Like, I'm like, okay, I don't fucking care. But continue.
Yeah, they're just coming up in my, like, I didn't go under someone that was being mean and call them out for being mean.
Right.
I'm just talking to the original person, being like, I can't believe all these meanies. And then they had to come be mean to me. So a lot of the people in my comment, underneath my comment, what I was explaining my situation and why people need to not assume that everyone can just send their kid to walk home from school. A lot of people are angry at me for moving so far away from a school. I should move closer. Some people are mad that I'm not getting involved in politics so that my school can have buses. Some people think that I need to be actually raising funds at the school to make buses. Some people don't believe me that the school doesn't offer busing. Some people are like, okay, obviously you don't want your kid to walk home. That's why they bike. Have you heard of a bike? And some other mom was like, people are snatching kids up off the street. And someone else mom had to come in and be like, people don't get snatched up off the streets. The statistics are actually very low. So you could feel okay sending them on a bike. Some people are like, back in my day, we walked 20 miles uphill both ways. And like this is my favorite comment. And I was like, I feel like I've reached the end of the internet now. Okay. So I said, I'm not having my kid walk to school. And then most people are like, well, you could have them bike. This guy said, I lived 4.5 miles from school. Not once did I have a car ride to school. I always rode my bike with other neighbors, and I never missed a day. I did get hit by a mom driving their kids to school. I carried my bike home, repaired it, and was on my way. If all these parents weren't on the roads would be much safer.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
I said, not a man telling me that he got hit by a car while riding his bike, telling me to have my kid ride her bike to school, to then get hit by a fucking car. Are you outside of your mind?
Holly, clearly you should let Maya ride her bike 5 miles to school. What are you doing?
Yeah, it'll toughen her up.
Yeah.
And if she gets hit by a car, she just hoof
gets
it back
back
to
up.
the house, ding out, pound out the dings, pump up the tire a little bit, and get back on the fuck and go to school.
Listen, this is how you build a backbone instead of having a bunch of snowflakes in your house.
That's right.
You get hit by a car and you keep going.
Toughen her up. Huh?
That's how you get a backbone.
So I've been having a hard time with Instagram over the last week because of that.
Understandably.
Yeah.
Maybe you need a detox.
Yeah. A nice little week off.
That'll look good on you.
Yeah.
Can't have a detox. Look at her. I'm struggling enough. If I detox, people are really fired.
No.
Let him.
Anyway, so I apologize for talking for like 25 minutes straight.
No, you're fine. It was interesting.
You needed to get it out.
Mhm.
I think I needed to for sure get the thing about Instagram out.
Yeah.
No, I felt that. You needed to speak on it, sis.
Yes, friend.
I can't.
Producer Kelvin, what's all of your social media?
At Kelvin Live, TikTok, X, Instagram primarily. OnlyFans is coming soon. You can add me on PlayStation. Bussy Killer without the U.
Oh, so what is this OnlyFans content going to be of?
Guess you'll tune in and see.
All right, I won't. Holly, what is your social media?
Bitch.
Well, if you want to find my comments and just absolutely throw trash on me.
Snowflake!
Yeah, let me see that post.
Right?
I don't even know how people are finding. I'm like, leave me alone. God, it's not even my post. It was one comment. All right, so Radio Holly, Instagram, X, Twitter. I like collectively, we're not calling it X, right? We're just going to.
Pretty much. It's Twitter. It's Twitter.
Radio Holly on all the things.
Mine is Miguel Fuller. You can find me on BeReal, Instagram, TikTok, all the places. And we will see you back here on Wednesday. Bye.
Miguel and Holly Uncensored.
Catch it on the